Probably fixed it.
My fault. I'm just sitting here doing.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. Probably for like the week after, it's like it was like super bad pain. Like when I was in the hospital, like, and they had me under a different thing. They had me under morphine and this and that. They had me all kinds of shit. But when I got in the hospital bed, I couldn't move. Like, like it was like excruciating pain. And the doctor comes in, and they're like, "Yeah, you have appendicitis," and she's like pressing down on my abdomen, and she's like, "Does it hurt here?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's awful.
I'm like, "Yeah, it hurts there," and then she goes somewhere else, and she's like, "Does it hurt here?" And I'm like, "Yes, ow." And she's like, "Yeah, you need surgery right away." I'm like, "Thanks."
There we go.
I'm like, "Thanks." But yeah, past couple days after the surgery, like it's just the pain is crazy, dude. Like I got stitches, a couple different spots on my abdomen, but it was just crazy, man. Like I was under different I'm still taking medications for it now, but like I couldn't get out of bed easily, anything like sitting up, like bending, anything like that. It's like stupid bad pain. It's better now, but it was just crazy. And I still can't lift more than 10 pounds.
How long is that going to be? Until like you're completely done healing process?
So, I guess we're gonna keep playing this until. Just waiting, I'm reluctant. Thank you.
Bring it in, everyone! Before we get started, I want to introduce you to a special guest, Kenny Smith. He'll be here observing with the coaching staff today, so let's put in a strong effort and show him how we do things
What's
around.
up?
The goal of today is to improve our shooting percentage.
She left
So we're going to focus on that aspect of the game. Set it up and get started.
Wait, what happened? My fault.
No, she's still trying to figure out her mic, so she left the channel. She's gonna come back.
She joined gaming chat.
Oh.
Move her.
I mean, you could drag her back in here.
Yeah, I can just re-invite her. Hold up. I mean, actually, I don't even see her name at the moment.
Oh no, she just dipped.
But she dipped out there. She'll be back. Just trying to mess with things.
Cool. So I mean, I guess if you want, we can start just talking and go from there.
Yeah, I guess we could kind of introduce things, and then when she comes, she'll introduce herself, and she'll just hop in. Oh!
Oh?
Shelby.
Excuse me?
Ah, still can't hear you.
She has to...
Oh! Yeah! Hey, wait a minute.
We got her.
We did it.
Successful.
Yay!
We got there.
Alright, we were just saying how, like, okay, we could start introducing ourselves. We'll probably be in here soon. Alright, Cyrus, you start. You introduce yourself first. 'Cause I've been
Why me first?
I mean, they know who I am, so it don't matter on that one.
Want it, and I've been on
Right.
Oh, I should have taken that.
All right. All right, so hello everybody. My name's Cyrus. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Regarding Star, yeah, we're all coworkers here. You know, so on security, he makes sure we're all secure and we're feeling all right. You know, comfortable in the workspace, and people aren't stealing this shit. Right, even though some people steal anyway. That's not the point. The point is, I get paid $15 an hour to teach old people how to use a cell phone.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what we do. And again, my name's Cyrus. I'm gonna take it over to Brian so he can reintroduce himself, I guess, because he's been here before.
My name's Brian. I'm the only one who's actually had a podcast before.
True.
Juan and I got the ball rolling on this, and I'm excited. Shelby, the worm, who lives in Jake's Viola.
Yo, just put the whole business out there. Put the whole business out there.
Check, please.
Oh, she's typing.
She's typing.
She refuses to talk now. They just made that awful joke.
It
Yeah.
just went silent.
Yeah, right. Finally got audio, and then it's like, nah, no more.
Shelby, no.
Check
Here,
it.
I'll introduce Shelby. Shelby.
She's not.
She's not a worm. I don't know much about Shelby. I know I trained her when she was hired at Target, and I know that pretty much as soon as she went to the front, I ended up moving to the back. So I don't really know Shelby that well, but her name is the same as the worm that lives in Jake's Viola.
She might have to check her input settings for microphone if
That's
she goes
what I
through
told her
settings.
to do.
Yeah, we told her.
But it did work when she was in here for a second.
Yeah, whenever
She's
she.
here,
I think it should work for her now.
hopefully.
Shelby.
Sorry, I'm having like some technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, now you introduce yourself. I kind of introduced you for
He said you're a crate dragon, pretty much.
If you guys didn't watch The Mandalorian yet, you don't know what a crate dragon is.
Well, you don't know what it looks like. It has been mentioned
I'm
before.
uncultured because I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
No,
I'm not
it's
a
been mentioned
full
before.
Star Wars
You don't have to worry about that.
I think Shelby's audio went out again.
Damn it.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
alright.
Cool.
She was
Alright,
being
Shelby.
respectful, Brian.
I know.
I'm letting you all
Yes, we.
talk.
Oh no, we're finishing up the
We
introduction.
interrupt each other all the time, though. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
interrupt us.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Well-
thing. This is gonna be a thing.
Go ahead and
Especially when
introduce
Juan
yourself.
and I
Say a
are talking.
couple words.
Okay, I'm Shelby. I am a Sagittarius, I guess. And probably the only one in this chat who is not still working at Target.
Wait, what?
What?
Whoa!
Oh, I got let go.
Light
seasonal?
drop. Wow.
Wow.
Damn. I was just
Yeah.
talking about how I remember when I trained you and everything. I was reminiscing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it was a very special moment.
Damn.
Cool. Where like
I know,
I got so
right?
many whip checks in that line.
Yeah, I
First
remember.
night. It was beautiful.
You should apply back.
Will they
Were you
take?
seasonal?
Yeah, it was seasonal. Will they take me?
Yeah, because they.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll look at other.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean.
Just wait until their payroll goes back up, because their payroll is lower than
The
usual.
reason,
Paid
yeah, the
things.
reason they cut a lot of people is because like January, February, they cut back on like a lot of hours, so they just
Yeah.
like
That's just so that they
literally
can
cut people.
pay them.
All right. Well, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna like take a month off of working anyway, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
impact.
Wait
me.
until
That works.
Yeah.
I would say yeah, March is a good time to try to reapply.
Okay, here we go.
So.
Episode 1. And
Star Wars time.
What name did we go with? The Crimson Blade?
Yeah, I think that's officially what this podcast would be
Everyone
named.
agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid.
Alright.
So,
Yeah, Tim.
I mean, yeah, we'll go from there. So, what? Well, we're gonna. I guess today's thing is just prequel era, the rise of the Jedi. I guess you want to say more specific, because now there's a lot more of a genre to kind of consider it.
Yeah. Because the whole. Instead of saying prequels, you gotta say prequel era, because there's the actual prequel films, and then there's the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
There's a
So,
lot
Now
I
we
guess-
have the High Republic, which is technically a prequel to the prequels. So it's kind of like a transition. We don't know anything about it yet, like as in content. So we could talk about that, what we anticipate, and yeah, all that stuff. So, Juan, do you have something that you want to talk about first? Or
Okay,
does
well,
anybody have anything
I mean, if we
specifically
wanna-
that they want to talk about
if
first?
we want to jump to what's big right now in Star Wars news in general, is that new open world game. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, we can go ahead and start with that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess we'll hop on the news aspect. This is pretty big news overall, because, I mean, this is going to be basically first time, besides if you want to consider Lego Star Wars as open world in a sense. Technically, in a sense, because if you
I guess-
technically consider the lobby, that's kind of open world, because you do
That's not an open world.
Yes, Force
That ain't
Awakens
open
does
world.
count.
The game had a set plot, a set track. I don't think that's considered open world.
Yeah,
If it
Yeah,
had,
it's
yeah,
set
that's
levels.
true because it doesn't have the. It has the.
The
set
lobby
story.
is the only thing.
yeah, you're not
If you
wrong.
want to count that, then Call of Duty World War II, because it had a lobby, is an open world game. It's not.
When I think of open world, though, I think of games like Breath of the
Red
Wild,
Dead,
shit like that.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
Grand
so-
Theft Auto.
But technically, first open
This
world
is a
game.
real open world
Yeah.
game.
But
And I'm
Yeah.
excited
so
because this could either be. Okay, so what I was thinking about today was, what if this is actually the Fallen Order sequel? Do you guys play Fallen Order?
of
Yes.
course, I played everything. Don't worry. You
I did not
So-
beat it.
Is that like the Legends
I'm
one?
bad.
It's canon. So it's about
Yeah.
like, if you didn't play it, I could just like run, like, it's this guy Cal Kestis who survived Order 66, and like Vader's still alive and stuff. It's still during the original trilogy era. The Inquisitors are basically hunting him down because they find out he's a Jedi, and he basically like picks back up on his Jedi roots, and he's trying to find the holocron to
Holocron.
start
Jesus.
holocron to start a new Jedi Order,
Crone. What are you
and
talking about?
it's really really good.
It's fucking good. It's sick, dude. It's such a good game. I need to get back to it like so bad.
And if the sequel to it is open world, I'm literally gonna like blow up. I'm gonna be so happy. Dude.
That would be
I'll
awesome.
I'll
dude.
also be happy if it's a High Republic era game because
Yeah. I just hope like it lives up to the hype, because I have a feeling like a lot of games nowadays.
it's Ubisoft though, so I think it should be fun.
Yeah,
They've
I
been
just
on
want-
a good streak lately.
because I believe.
Oh my
EA's
god, we
contract with-
understand Wade Dig. My fault. I'm looking at chat. Y'all can keep going. So there's a guy by you today, Wade Dig. He just went on Twitch. He was like, I beat Fallen Order on Jedi Grandmaster and again on New Game Plus. We understand. This dude,
We
he
get
will
it,
never
bro.
live it down. He will never live it down for the aspect that he has
respect.
beaten Jedi Fallen Order on Jedi Grandmaster. Look, and then he just put LMAO.
Wait, what's the one
here.
right below Grandmaster? 'Cause that's the one I do. Is that just Jedi Master?
So
I
in
guess so.
Wade Dig's defense, you beat it on nothing. Let's just put it out that
And it's the Sixers to start
way.
out.
Based off of what
And
he
some
would
new
say.
faces
Again,
and new
I just
places
know what
this
he's gonna
year.
say by this
All right,
point.
Grant, how long is it?
Well, guess
That's
what?
wild.
He's not in the podcast. So how about that?
How about that?
Oh my god, that hurt.
All right, y'all. But let's
Oh,
get
no.
let's get down to it here. One topic that
Oh
Juan
my
and I
god.
both had hot takes on, and Cyrus kind of stood by to watch us neck and neck about it. I want to hear what Shelby thinks of it, and especially Cyrus, because you just rewatched them all. I want to hear what your fresh opinion is, but I'm interested to hear what Shelby's thoughts are. Who do you blame
Ooh.
for Anakin
Ooh.
The Jedi
turning
Order,
to the
Jedi
dark
Council.
side? The whole
Easily.
Jedi Council? Blame
Yes.
one person.
The
One
council.
person? I get one.
You get one. Obi-Wan, Mace Windu,
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I don't think it was one person. Qui-Gon.
Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. Easily.
Well, for
Explain.
saying the
I'm
whole
being
thing
respectful.
You
about-
can
I'm
trace
being-
it all back.
Go ahead.
No, hear me out. You can trace it
Go ahead.
all back to episode 1, because
You're the
Chosen
he
one.
says, you know, he's like so interested in buying Anakin. He's like,
Whoa.
he
He didn't
he's,
buy
like,
a
playing-
slave.
Yeah, no.
He's
True.
gambling. He's a slave. He's gambling. He's very clearly a slave. He's on a slave planet buying from a slaver. And he gets Anakin, and Anakin's like, hey, do you think we could maybe get my slave mother as well? And then Qui-Gon Jinn has the audacity to say, oh no, the Jedi don't get involved.
No.
We don't do that, Anakin. The thing that I just did for you, we don't do that.
Yeah.
I understand your perspective, because if Qui-Gon Jinn, well, how about this?
Well, if
Do you
Qui-Gon
think
had
if Qui-Gon survived, that Anakin would still turn to the dark side because of how he hyped up Anakin in Episode 1?
yes.
I don't know. So here's the thing: is that
Ooh,
Anakin?
wait
is
a
kind of
minute.
an
What did
emotional
chat
person.
just say? Hold up. If you want to hear what his input, I'll let you do yours, and then I guess we'll go to him, and then we'll continue everybody's opinion. So go ahead, Shelby. We'll add on to what he just said.
Anakin is a very impressionable person, very impressionable character. I think a lot of his flaws that the Jedi Council did point out, like, were valid observations, but that, you know, just pointing out someone's flaws without offering any solutions really is kind of like a hindrance.
Yoda had a solution.
Well,
Come off the council.
but yeah, just like don't even bother letting him in. But I think had Qui-Gon survived, it would be tough. Like there would be more input. I don't think that Obi-Wan Kenobi really had the like experience yet to take on a Padawan.
Exactly.
I don't think he was prepared to take on a Padawan, especially someone so powerful, someone so established as powerful as Anakin. Sorry, hold on a sec.
Is that your freaking dog?
Yeah.
That sounds evil. Not even
My
gonna
bad,
lie.
they-
Not just because this is a Star Wars podcast. It sounded like you were arm wrestling with like a Wookiee or something.
Yeah, that's kind of how I live my day-to-day life. But going back to what I was saying, I think Obi-Wan experienced a lot of trauma losing his mentor.
Mhm.
I think that he sort of projected that onto his apprentice. And you can see that kind of throughout the entire prequels as well as the Clone Wars, which I consider
For
continue
sure.
to be canon. You know, just like this like very obvious emotional attachment to his Padawan while constantly checking Anakin and being a hypocrite throughout the entirety of the show of like, oh, my Padawan, don't, you know, don't be emotional. Don't let emotions and these relationships rule your life. And in the same hand, having these emotional bonds, good and bad, with the villains, with the villagers, you know, he's not like, yeah, exactly. So it's very hypocritical of Obi-Wan, and I'm not saying that like to say he was the cause of Anakin, or because you know that's. I just think that had Qui-Gon Jinn still been there as a Jedi Master, he might have had more ability to, you know, not just check Anakin, but to check Obi-Wan.
I think that
I mean, but here.
Qui-Gon's.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. Because I can go on a spiel on that. You already know me, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
So I think Qui-Gon's personality was aligned with Anakin's a lot better, and I think one thing that Obi-Wan took away from, or sorry, not Obi-Wan, I meant Anakin. One thing Anakin took away from Obi-Wan when Obi-Wan was young and basically became his master when he was still a Padawan, is that he was very like submissive at first, and then after a while he realized he was like shit, I
But what
kind
I
of
want
really
to
want to
say
do this.
also is that Obi-Wan seemed a little like jealous of Anakin. I'm gonna say in the first film,
Ooh.
I'm gonna-
I don't see that.
Ooh.
in the sense he like
I think he was just confused.
No.
Because imagine
No.
just being with your but
No.
he was
Hold
he
up.
was with his master,
maybe it's subtext.
and then he was with his master, and then they found a Sith Lord, and they found the Chosen One, and Obi-Wan's just kind of like, what is going on? And
but let's just clarify, if there
he's
was
just
no
thrust into it.
wait, so let's just clarify then, if there was no jealousy on this aspect, right? Because I do like what she said. Because of there being jealousy, there is actually now technically his comment now makes a lot more sense. He's like, I feel like you've added another filthy life form. He did say that. So that is, he not only sensed the fact that he got another life form that's going to be along in the journey with him, but he's already looking down upon him. And not only does it help because he's a slave, but it's because of the fact that he knows, because it's strong in the Force, that it means that something is happening. And if you ever, and when you read the book, you'll actually come to realize, Master and Apprentice, Obi-Wan and Anakin are very alike. And it truly is.
They are.
Yes. So that means the arrogancy and everything. That's why I say Obi-Wan's a hypocritical.
No,
whole spiel.
he's undeniably.
I
hypocritical.
think
If it's not
jealousy does
jealousy,
make sense.
I don't think if it's not jealousy, if that's reading into it too much, if that's me like obsessing over it too much,
could just
I
be
think
pressure.
in the very least resentment.
Or pressure, because he had the pressure of becoming the master to the chosen one.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
tough. That is difficult, I would say. I mean, but you also have to consider, because they're not holding Yoda accountable for Count Dooku.
That's
Well,
a good
but
point.
okay, wait.
That's fair.
Hold up. So, I totally agree. And like I said, I'm gonna still let y'all go. I just want to put Diggs in because he's like blowing up this timeline right now, so he can say that what he wants to say. So, this is from what Diggs is saying. It's his own fear. He turned to keep his wife alive, and that he was just mad after. If we're being honest, it's Obi-Wan's fault because in his mind, he thinks Obi-Wan betrayed him. Especially when he shows up, Anakin thinks Obi-Wan turns his wife against him, and that was a driving factor.
I will say paranoia does like play into his character so much. It's
Yeah.
like this anxiety and his fear that he's going to lose. But like back to what I said, his fear of losing his loved ones comes from losing his mother, who he would have never lost had Qui-Gon just took her with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he
seriously.
really didn't have a way around that.
So, I totally... It does make sense, and I get Shelby's thing.
And if he
And-
took his mother, that would have been another emotional attachment for Anakin, and he wouldn't have been secluded from that. And I think, honestly, if his mother was there, like with them on Coruscant, it would have made things.
I think if
yeah,
he
that's
just
fair.
known that she was safe, then like it wouldn't have caused, because it was this fear that, you know, he had to go back and find her and save her and become this hero for everyone.
He seemed really confident, though, that
Yeah.
he was going to be able to come back and save her. And she was actually freed.
Yeah,
Not
after.
too long after. So, I think his mother thing, it was just a unfortunate thing about the Sand People, but that's just what it is. Like, you know, it's especially since she died in his arms. I think if he came there and she was already dead, he would have just been like upset, not as angry.
But I think knowing that she was safe somewhere else and free somewhere else, like just knowing that she existed somewhere, would have been a lot less of an emotional attachment than like having her die in his arms.
True, right.
That's true.
Right.
Cyrus, what do you think? Who do you?
So as far as like who's responsible for Anakin turning out the way he did, I can't really pick an individual person. Like I would definitely say it's the Jedi Council as a whole. Out of the council, I can't really pick an individual. Like,
I mean,
wouldn't
I'll
say-
consider that an individual, let's just say. Like, you're choosing an overall
Well, they all
aspect,
kind of have a.
Yeah,
an influence onto it. Yeah.
yeah. The fact that just like, I mean, I really like
But
the
there are
point
people
that.
like Mace Windu who were
I was
just
gonna point-
outright against him.
Yeah, I was gonna point out Mace Windu. Like, I didn't see it so much because again, I only know the Clone Wars and the movies to go off of. So any other expanded lore, I don't know. So I don't know. Like,
I mean, there's
any
not
of those-
much expanded
But-
lore on that aspect. Everything was pretty much...
Clone
Yeah,
Wars
okay.
covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. So especially in like Revenge of the Sith, like Mace Windu was straight up like, you are not a part of this council. Like, then that was like, in my eyes, like the driving
It
factor.
took, honestly,
He was just like,
it surprised me when Anakin approached Mace Windu and told him, "Hey, I think the Senator is a Sith Lord," and Mace Windu actually acted on it.
right, yeah, that was
He
surprising.
gained so much trust and respect for Anakin and it was immediately
Immediately
taken away
fucking take.
when Anakin cut his fucking hands off and threw him out a window.
He must stand true. Even though he fucking kills people all the time for no reason. That's fine. That's
Well-
besides the point.
I mean, I wouldn't put it that way, but all right, Brian, what's your take on it?
You already know my take.
Go, hey, listen, we're talking to new members.
So there's a couple ideas that I have, and then I'll like mention the obvious ones without having to speak about them because we kind of already did. Obi-Wan is obviously on trial. Obviously,
He's the imposter.
yes. Mace Windu's up there.
Obi-Wan
But-
sus.
You know who we haven't mentioned really at all is Padme. Because
You really think Padme's the one there?
Padme, she was very closely
I
politically-
already disagree.
well listen, hear me
The
out.
only thing I can really say
Very
about
closely
that.
oriented with the Jedi Order, especially in the politics, because that's basically all they really were at that point.
I'm just
and
watching Han's face.
she had decided. Listen, 'cause she had decided that she wanted to get close to Anakin, and she basically led him on.
That's so wrong, though.
and-
That's so inaccurate.
But it is not wrong because she.
Throughout the entirety
They
of
both led
the
each other
prequel.
on.
No,
and
through the
then-
entirety of the pre. Like,
Knock him down. Knock him down.
What?
she just consistently said no throughout the entirety of the prequels. Like, it's just inaccurate to say that she was leading him on.
So they both. She said no, but she was also flirting with him and everything, and they were both kind of just.
No
into
means
each
no,
other.
man. No means no.
No, it doesn't. Not with women.
Wow.
that she
Wow.
Because
Wow.
no, I'm serious.
No, so
fine.
I mean, I've
But-
gone through this discussion as well, like with her specifically, like with Padme. It was
Either way,
they both
ended
were
up-
wrong. At the end of the day, they were both wrong.
They
And
were
there's
both
this-
wrong. That's
So,
the thing.
and you know what's funny? Actually, in the one podcast, I actually paid attention, which I told y'all, Rexing Around, which I would suggest highly if you ever want to watch one or listen to it. Definitely one. And it's the I forget the exact wording they said, but Anakin was very hard on the second movie. I mean, even from the get-go. Like, let's just remember, he is 7 years old, and he's like, you know, are you an angel? He's already flirting. Dude's 7, 8, whatever.
Well, they both charmed each other. Cause
Yes, but
that they were constantly charming each
which is,
other.
hey, okay, whatever.
And in Attack
Now,
of the Clones, even.
Yes, he became a lot more harsh. The
Okay, I have an
caressing of her
off-topic
back.
Question real quick.
Hmm.
Is this super off topic? Is this on your Twitch right now, ma'am?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks. I'm like trying to send the link out. My bad.
So, yeah, like, you know, he was already caressing her, and then, you know, what was the first thing she did?
And then they were
She-
rolling around in
Well,
flowers.
no, let's go from the get-go. When he first meets her, he's nervous. Obviously, we
She gives
all
him the
knew.
necklace.
No. I'm talking about from the get-go of Attack of the Clones.
Oh,
He's
come on.
literally in the elevator with Obi-Wan. He's nervous. You already know he's built up an emotion. He's been put away for how long training. This is his first time seeing her again and everything. So cool, whatever. Now, you got to put into consideration as well that as soon as he sees her, she friend zones him. Let's just put it out there. She friend zoned the
True.
shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like, Anakin, you're still the young kid that I remember on Naboo.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
still- it's
guess
still
what?
weird.
You're a kid. Yes, you're a kid. She's still looking at him as Anakin.
She doesn't
He's
realize-
He's trying to prove otherwise. Which, I mean, anybody else, obviously,
Even if you don't have like romantic intentions, you just want to.
you're gonna prove otherwise. And then somebody like Anakin, you're proven to be from the get-go. Once you got met from a Jedi, you are the chosen one. Da 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 da. Your ego is getting higher. So what is gonna happen? You're gonna look at me as a kid. It's not gonna be a kid. This is why I'm not a kid. And then he shows everything. He's trying to outsmart Obi-Wan with some of the things he's saying, and oh well, I'm strong enough. Da da da. You know, everybody knows it. I mean, by this point, anybody who's listening or watching, whatever you want to consider it, has watched the movie to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he's already hard on her. And then he's going to continue the process. So he goes out to Naboo with her. And then now, yeah, they're flirtatious. They're playing around. They're enjoying themselves.
Yeah,
And
Shelby's
then-
right that she said no a lot.
Yes.
But
So,
she
but
also,
Anakin was
after a while,
pushing
her
harder.
nose became less genuine, and then it became yes, and then it
Well,
became. "Hey,
The
let's
one
have
thing I
cookies."
will say in Brian's favor is that like that scene where they're having a picnic and she's still kind of set on no, but they're having like a romantic picnic,
And then they
he's
make
like,
out.
and then and then he says, the words like, fascism is okay if it works.
Yeah,
Yes, he was. So he was already foreshadowing the future. We all we knew that one. You know,
that was
was the
actually a
point.
really cool.
I like that touch. I did like
yeah.
that touch. But
That,
Good
you know,
foreshadowing.
she's like, she literally describes herself as a diplomat. She is democratic,
And-
she
and he explains how he
smiles
doesn't
when
like
he's
politicians.
like pro-fascism. Yeah, she's got a thing for him.
so here goes my question: do you think he truly meant that, or
Yeah.
did he just Or did he just say it to mess with her to win her over?
I think
'Cause-
he's uneducated. I think he was just very
I think
uneducated, and he was
Yeah,
under the influence
I
of
would agree
Sheev.
with that.
And the idea of like somebody who has like
Sheev didn't really have him under his thumb quite yet. I think right now this was simply Anakin still in his adolescence, acting like a teenager.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Pretending to know what he's talking about, like an educated guess. Like he wasn't faking it on purpose,
Right.
but he wasn't completely educated on politics. But real quick, I just want to talk about this specifically before we go on the thing about this more. I don't care what anyone says, but the root root of the evil that Anakin became was actually heartbreak romantically. Because of course it's not just that, because he also has the heartbreak with his family, and heartbreak with, you know, a whole bunch, a number of things. But Padme was the last straw.
I gotta say, it just sounds like you're eating out of George Lucas's hands. Like,
No, listen to me.
you're
I'm
licking his
serious.
Boots,
You
man.
need
This
to-
is-
no,
this is what
I'm
he
not.
wants you to think.
No, it's not. Because listen, the whole. I just accidentally turned on my PlayStation. Hang on. The whole point when he was officially becoming Darth Vader, when Sheev tells him the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and everything.
Which is a very
about
great
that.
story.
It's a great story, and it's
Not one the
completely
Jedi would tell you.
not a story that the Jedi would tell you at all. But
Damn fucking Jedi.
But like, the whole point was that he was talking to him about how he wants to make Padme live forever, and he was like, "Well, you can make her live forever if you do this. Turn to the dark side." He's like, "Okay, fine. I guess I'll turn to the dark side if I can make her live forever." And then he does, and he becomes Darth Vader, and then he just ends up like ruining everything anyway. He's the reason Padme died.
Well,
and
listen. I could circle this back like 1,000 times to bringing it back to the situation with Shmi. Maybe it's a little Freudian of me, but I really do believe that had that situation not occurred, had Qui-Gon just stepped in and
You mean
saved the
her.
slave for the chosen one, the fucking chosen one. I
So-
really think none of this would have unfolded, because this paranoia, this anxiety of loss is like the one thing that keeps driving him to making these poor decisions.
So here goes my question. Let's say he did save, Shmi. What would she had done?
Fucking name, dude.
Survive some
Actually,
other
you know
fucking
what?
way?
This is an interesting thing.
No, I'm literally asking a question because
I am gonna-
okay, we all know. Let's just put it this way: we all know the Republic did not transfer out right to the Outer Rim, which Tatooine is on at the current moment. So we understand that in this subject, whatever you really want to consider it, what? Somebody would have tried to hope to make Tatooine part of the Republic? Part of the Senate? What, make her a diplomat?
Well, here's what I want to say, is that Tatooine is no place for anyone. So for somebody to just leave someone as a slave on Tatooine, like, that is a death sentence. There is no tiptoeing about that. Like, to leave someone there is a death sentence. It's just no way of life unless you're a moisture farmer. There's always the threat of sand people. There's always the threat of just
Well, it's
violence.
basically it's kind of like an early city, like main city. Just not obviously not as technologically developed.
What, you're talking about Tatooine?
Yeah, because it's very rural in how it looks and how they live, but it's
I
also
mean, it's a
about, like-
smuggler's thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's smuggling, and like there's a lot of, I guess you could consider them gangs, even though they're not really gangs, but like it's in the same
Just sketchy people.
vein. Like you need to worry about it just as much.
Like, literally the most you would ever get out of it, because there's no technical income, is what? We would have gotten Hondo Onaka. Like, no, bro. Like, we got to keep it real. Like, realistically, Tatooine is nothing. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah,
Tatooine
it's
is
very
literally
neutral. I
nothing
think
for the
you could
Republic
be
to
safe
touch.
I think you could be safe on Tatooine if you grew up there, kind of like how Luke did, because he was safe. He wasn't really.
But he was still at risk of the sand people.
He was at risk, but that's why I'm saying you have to be.
I mean, okay, so if we were to play the questions of risk, you could be at risk at Coruscant.
you could
It's
be at risk
it's the most highly populated area of Star Wars. Period.
Listen, I'm not debating whether or not her, like, death in general was the cause of Anakin's paranoia. What I'm saying is that, like, such a morbid and graphic death in his arms at
Yeah,
the
in
very
his arms
planet
was the
he
biggest part.
trying to rescue her from. That is what tipped the scale for him. That is what led him down this, like, illness that caused him to be so obsessed with protecting
He wants to be the
his loved
hero
ones.
too often. Like
Right. This is trauma.
he's too focused.
This is
He's
what
too
trauma
focused
does.
on being, the hero of all people, and that might be because he thinks because he's told that he's the chosen one and all that. But real quick, Juan asked if Shmi survived and was taken to Coruscant with Anakin when Qui-Gon saved him. Freedom. What would she do? And
It's not about her, like, being in his life. That's
No,
certainly
yeah.
not what I'm
It's
suggesting.
just about
What I'm suggesting
the comfort
is
of knowing
her
that she's
be-
around.
Well, this is exactly how you want to attack the defense.
I
like,
think
given the
It's
same
not being in
recipe
the
as Anakin.
situation of like her literally dying in his arms.
yeah.
This is like, well, obviously it was a huge thing. If you think about it from like other
in a
Jedi,
violent
like,
way. If she died in his arms peacefully on Coruscant, he might have turned out better because that's.
well, I don't know why she would be on Coruscant. Like, none of the other Jedi have their like relatives. Like, if I remember correctly, like
No,
Jedi
they
are
didn't,
taken
'cause
from
they-
their
'cause
families.
they really
like, a
shouldn't.
very
Yeah.
young age.
So,
But
wait,
if-
one
if
second.
hypothetically she came. What?
So, we have a comment from the Degenerate. All I'm saying is, from day one, obviously, Palpatine was placing ideals in his head and kind of pushed the idea of being mistreated by the Jedi. When anything wasn't going his way, Palpatine was always there. Come with me and I could do this for you. So basically, I don't know if he's saying it
Well, he pushed
as...
it really hard in Revenge.
Yeah,
of the
I don't know if
Sith.
I don't know if
Not
what they're
really.
trying to put out is saying it's Palpatine's fault or Palpatine is that pushover, but I wouldn't say it's his fault because, I mean,
No,
it wouldn't be a
Palpatine
fault because
just
he got
gave in.
his
He
wish.
saw the opportunity.
Yeah,
and took
he
it.
got his wish.
Could have. If he could do that, if he had that power over the Jedi, he could have done it to any Jedi. He didn't.
Yeah,
have to
so what it was, and as I'm taking from this comment, it's the same situation as Snoke with Kylo. He took the opportunity of being a friend, which Anakin didn't have. He had a master, he had people who also understood him, but he didn't have a friend. And the only friend he did have was Padme. And also, Palpatine
Well,
was the
this is
outsider
why-
as a friend, not a senator, because everybody is always, well, that's a senator. That's a senator. Palpatine didn't put a title in front of Anakin. He didn't put a title for Padme. He didn't look at Padme
Not
as a
granted the
senator.
rank of master.
Yes, he wasn't. He didn't care about. Those are the two people who didn't basically put a title against Anakin. Because
But-
Padme never went up to him. Remember, when Padme first introduced herself, she was just Padme. She wasn't, Queen Amidala. She wasn't Senator Amidala. She was just Padme. Either way, she was a queen, but she didn't
She was
introduce
also-
herself
She
that way.
was also like at the same level as him. She was a handmaid. It wasn't even that she was like even royalty pretending to be a regular person. Like she presented herself as a common person.
Yes.
So it was easier to relate to her. So I could. See
And
that.
then, and then Palpatine. Palpatine came up. He's like, yeah, we're gonna, as a, youngling, I guess you really want to consider Anakin. Yes, obviously he was a senator. He knew him as Senator Palpatine. But he always treated him as a friend, always talked to him. You've seen a lot of communicative,
respected him. He
yes,
felt
you've
him.
seen a lot of communicative, conversations between the two. There was, again, it's
But
not,
that's kind of just how Palpatine was to everybody at that point.
no,
He was
because,
still playing the act up.
well, yeah, he's playing the act, but here goes my thing. If you ever heard any other Jedi speak to Palpatine, it was Senator.
It was more professional because
Yes.
Anakin was still a kid and Palpatine wanted him to still he didn't want to treat a kid like he was a Jedi Master,
Yeah, so, I mean, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you should respect the Senator.
Exactly.
Because it's a
And
political...
I think Anakin, he really, really respected Palpatine more than most people up to a certain point when he got older. Not when he was younger, but
Oh, absolutely,
No one
because
trusted
he...
him.
Yeah, and that was because
Well,
of the
he
little
made bad
antics that...
judgments.
Yeah.
And people thought that it was just mistakes, but it was actually on purpose because he was actually playing both sides on the Clone Wars, and obviously one was in his favor. But I really want to answer this question because you asked if Shmi went to Coruscant, which
Yep.
she shouldn't, and she shouldn't have from the get-go.
Yeah, I honestly
If
don't
she
see
did,
any
what would
value.
she do?
Well, hold on. I'm not even saying Coruscant. I'm just saying off of Tatooine. I'm
Well,
just
yeah.
saying off of that planet. She didn't have
In
to.
general.
I'm not
I don't think it
anyway
matters.
suggesting that
Yeah.
she would be a part of Anakin's life whatsoever. I'm
Okay.
just merely suggesting that they're breaking the rules for Anakin. Why not Shmi? Why not say, all right, well, your mother, who you already have an attachment to, clearly is safe, so you don't even have to worry about this bitch. Like, you
Yeah.
can focus all of your energy on being a Jedi. You don't even have to worry about her now. They could have just given him that sort of relief. Then he wouldn't have obsessed to
But-
the point of finding her again.
But do
Absolutely.
you think that since Anakin he had enough time to develop a close relationship with his mother? If Anakin was younger, like literally a baby, and they took him and they were like, "This is the chosen one. We need him," then I think he would have been fine, honestly. But as
I
Yoda
agree.
said,
I
he was
agree.
too old,
Yeah.
I
and
agree.
he had enough time to develop a relationship with his mother. So I think had Anakin known that his mother was safe, had the comfort of knowing that she was safe, seeing her occasionally, things like that, maybe he wouldn't have needed Padme to fill that gap. Maybe Padme kind of took like
Oh.
the
That feels a little
maternal
too
figure,
Freudian.
like a mother
for my
figure
taste.
for him. But maybe it was. Maybe she just kind of was
The void in his
filling
heart.
that void for
Yeah,
him. Maybe that's
I mean-
maybe he didn't even want to be in a relationship. Maybe it was just I need somebody to be
Somebody.
my mother figure.
He needs comfort.
And there
Well,
weren't other
even
women
Padme
around.
aside, though, because you take a look at Luke Skywalker, who grew up with his aunt and uncle, and were incredibly close and attached to them. He also watched them die. He saw their burning corpses and chose to do the right thing, regardless of
Exactly.
his influence.
And that's
So-
the biggest difference between Luke and Anakin is because Anakin, he already was like, okay, it is what it is. I need to fix the thing that caused this rather than cast revenge.
Rather than prevent it in everyone else that
Exactly.
Now, my question is, do you consider Luke even a pure Jedi?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, he's
No,
the
I
definition
don't.
of what I can be.
Oh
No, I
my
don't.
god!
Okay,
Okay,
well, wait.
Wait, hold on.
Are you talking about Anakin in his prime?
Wait, you
no,
said
I
Anakin?
said
thought you
Luke. I said Luke.
No, Anakin against Luke. You were comparing them, right?
No, I said, do you?
Then
No,
you said-
all I said was,
Go
is
ahead.
Luke a pure Jedi?
Oh, I
No,
thought you said
he was
pure
not.
words.
He was maybe mentored by a Jedi, but that doesn't mean that he
I mean, yes, he was not
trained
trained
by
completely.
Yoda.
trained in the Jedi Council for the Jedi Council. He
No,
obviously
basic-
had
okay.
attachment.
I think
me-
Jedi
let me
are
put it
better
this
off
way.
outside the
Sure.
Force.
Let me put it this way.
Honestly, the same. The
Would
council
you
kinda sucks.
consider Luke the like the perfect
No.
I guess
No.
The
like
ideal Jedi?
yes.
No. No.
Why not?
Oh, easy. Let's just put it this way. The fight against his own father, he wailed. He used the dark side. As a Jedi, you are not supposed to use the dark side. Luke used the dark side. No matter how you think about it, he used the dark side fighting Darth Vader at Return of the Jedi, and that's how he cut off his arm. But then he stopped himself. Yes, he did stop
Yeah.
himself,
Well,
and
he
you give him
felt
perfect
conflict
credit.
because-
And I agree because
That's
for
true.
one thing, it's not so the Force is not so black and white as to say you are a Jedi or you are a Sith.
You
It's
cannot
literally
use
balance.
it. Yeah.
But there are such Jedi, such as the Greys, who choose to use both sides of the Force successfully. Without,
think that's
and I
like
feel that without being so polarized, one or the other, like they get the benefit of both sides.
Using the dark side it isn't necessarily like for evil. I mean, I guess if you completely rely on it, especially with force powers, 'cause
Well,
there
there's
are-
supposed to be
there
a
are-
balance in the Force. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. Like, you can't have like just light. Like, then there is obviously going to be some darkness. That like,
I
But
can't
you're
even
supposed to
think of a
not
Jedi
go
that
to it.
hasn't-
That's the problem.
right? Yeah. So you don't let it overtake you as a person.
No,
Which he
one-
did.
One metaphor that I did see for the Force that I definitely think is like very accurate is that it's not just two ends of a pool. It is the entire ocean, and the light side is like the shallower end. It's as much as you're going to let yourself dip your toes into it without being overcome. And the dark side is like the very bottom of the ocean that you're allowing yourself to be suffocated by to become part of the ocean. And the gray is in that like space
like
in
the
the
Dead
middle
Sea.
where you're swimming.
You just float.
Right.
Okay.
I think Grey
so,
Jedi are like the coolest. It's the coolest form of like a force sensitive. How do I
That
put
sounds
it?
awesome. I didn't even know that was a
Best,
thing.
the best character is Gray.
Ahsoka becomes a Grey Jedi.
That's what I'm saying. She's
Oh, word.
Oh,
Very
that-
true. Very true.
Ahsoka becomes a Grey Jedi, and so does
Yo,
Rey.
side note, I really fucking like Ahsoka.
if you don't like Ahsoka, you're not a Star Wars fan. Just,
Well, no, because I only I
You don't
watched
like
the
Jar Jar,
Clone
you're
Wars.
not a Star Wars fan either.
All right, well, hold on,
Yeah.
there, buddy.
if it wasn't for Jar Jar, Star Wars would never be what Star Wars is. Just saying.
Jar Jar is
That's,
actually.
that's true.
He is the most significant
very
character of Star
Jar Jar
Wars.
is a red herring. Jar Jar is, entry level. Anyone can like kind of appreciate the comedic value.
I loved him as a kid.
Thing because
Yeah,
I think
he
Well,
was there for,
absolutely.
like,
He was the comedic relief, but I'm
obviously.
telling you, out of significance, he is a lot more significant than C-3PO. Sorry,
Yes.
at me next time.
Honestly, can we be real?
Yo,
Can we
really
be
important. He guided
Can we be real?
R2-D2 with the Death Star plans.
Well,
Like,
hold
he
on,
helped
hold
him.
on. One, what character has been in every single film?
Well, just
Okay, no, that's fine.
C-3PO.
Good point.
No, ready,
Oh,
wait,
good
wait, wait.
point.
Here
Oh,
goes my
Roman
question.
Return,
Here goes my
movie.
question, because I love this comment, and I've had it before. Yes, he's been in every film. Cool. What
It's not
has he
relevant.
done?
Don't get me wrong. Don't
What
get me
has he
wrong.
done
I
to the
hate
Really
it.
has done a
story
lot.
in every film?
but not every
He's
movie.
a comedic. He's a comedic relief. Now,
Doesn't- well,
wait,
yeah.
no, but hear me out. Hear me out. If it wasn't for Jar Jar
important to
Binks,
know.
if it wasn't for Jar Jar Binks, Senator Palpatine would have never had the power that he did.
Not true.
What do you mean? He gave emergency power. He came up with the idea to give emergency power to the senator. Guess
Yeah,
what that
but
did?
He was gonna get it anyway. There's no way Jar Jar was his
Steve
only
is
window.
a master manipulator. He
Yeah,
was
like
going
he
to get
planned everything out.
Well,
way in advance.
absolutely. That was the purpose. But at the same time, Jar Jar literally went, guys, since none of us probably know what we're doing, give him the power.
Yeah, but
Like-
Sheev did not just happen upon fascism. That is not something that you stumble upon accidentally.
Especially not
No,
because of
he
Jar Jar. I
purposely
don't-
he set the war the way he exactly wanted the war to go. Because remember, he only was manipulating both sides of the war. But what I'm saying is, without Jar Jar, there was no way he would have gotten that power. because you
He
needed
would've-
somebody.
would've
You
found
needed
another
somebody
way.
stupid
Absolutely
enough.
He would have. He was
No,
already
wait.
making his way through Padme.
You
Yeah,
know he
but
had
watch- no,
plan
but watch
B
this,
through
watch this.
Z, like if
So,
Jar Jar died
here
or
goes the
something,
problem.
You thought
Padme
I
was
don't know
still
if
a
Jar Jar
senator.
was Plan A.
Padme was
Jar
Padme
Jar's
was
fine.
still a senator.
I really hope Jar Jar was not Plan A.
Listen, so
Yeah.
she was still senator, but she wasn't there. She let Jar Jar take the lead on this because she couldn't be there. What did he say? Okay, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to take it to the guy I probably know. Let's give it to Palpatine.
Yeah, but in
Okay,
no way
cool.
was Sheev expecting that. In
Yeah.
no way was he like, I'm
But-
banking on Jar Jar.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. He knew this was going to happen. But the problem is, because it was also his idea to put Padme on Naboo, hey, you know, take her to her homeland. That's where she's going to be safe. Now, Jar Jar all of a sudden gives me these powers to, you know, he knew it was going to happen. It wasn't that he was
Anyone-
playing a risk.
anyone
Yeah.
was going to be
So
that
yes,
person.
No,
Everyone was
Jar
going to
Jar
be that
but the
helped.
problem is you had other people who actually knew what they were doing in the Senate. They could have actually talked about it. A diplomatic thing. Padme was the one that already expressed, especially Anakin, don't give power to one person. She was already expressing that. There's a reason there's a Senate. It's a democracy. Everybody agrees. Now, everybody agreed to Jar Jar's decision to give him the power. But the problem is, because of Jar Jar literally saying, since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to give it to somebody who does. And since Padme can't be here,
there was a
or
lot of people who
Sadme,
didn't know what
you
they
know,
were doing, who could have been in Jar Jar's position. And
yes,
given it to
but you
Palpatine.
also, but the thing is, it's just that aspect that he was the one who spoke. He's the face. We're not going to speak
Yeah,
for
he
however
turned
many
out
people
to be
are.
the one, but I think if Jar Jar like tripped and was rolled over and flattened out
yeah, they
in
didn't
the
save
beginning
him.
of Phantom Menace and he
Right.
never existed, I think Palpatine still would have been exactly
Yeah,
where he ended up.
It's not like it wouldn't have happened without Jar Jar. Jar Jar just like helped it get there. I guess
He
faster
definitely
than it
was a conduit.
otherwise.
of
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
power.
Still, we can say that all we want. But what has C-3PO given us before Rise of Skywalker? Because that is the one thing he actually did that was like, oh my god, you actually added to the story. Other than being fan service. Other than loving this gold metallic dude stepping onto the screen and loving his non-expressive but very expressive self and being annoying, telling you what the odds are. Either way, nobody wanted to know what the odds were.
Well, in a New
What
Hope,
did he
really
give us?
mattered a lot.
In A New Hope, he's
Literally,
really
it
important.
wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for A New Hope.
Why not? R2 had the plans.
I
And
know, but
R2 was already
Remember
guiding where to
when they were
go.
abducted by the Jawas and they were purchased by Luke and his uncle?
C-3PO was the
He
one
was
who
like, "Yo, you
communicated.
should get this one." Yeah, he was like, because the other R2
He really
units,
was
like,
the guide, like
exploded
literally
or
the
whatever.
taxi service for R2. R2
Yeah,
wouldn't
because
be able to
nobody
do that by
spoke.
himself.
Nobody spoke droid. Just luckily there was a protocol droid. Okay, whatever. But then even remember, just because he could speak doesn't mean. Oh, thank you. I was just thinking that. Just because you have the ability to speak doesn't mean you're intelligent. Let's just bring
I
Jar
never
Jar
said he,
quote
I
out
never
there.
said he
Well,
was.
hold on.
So-
I just
Here
want to
goes
say,
the thing.
there was no reason for Luke to buy R2 had it not been for C-3PO.
What do you mean? The one
Exactly.
broke anyway.
He
The-
was going to pass on him. He was not going to get R2 until C-3PO was like, oh,
Good
this
point,
this
Shelby.
droid's malfunctioning. And if you look at this R2 unit, which is in perfectly good condition, you might as well take this one instead.
yeah,
That was a good ass point, Shelby.
Okay.
that was the
Like,
point I was trying
you
to
could
get
say
to.
that, but the
So
thing
that's
is,
the reason why.
the Jawas, okay, they have that. You're telling me he wouldn't stumble along eventually? Okay, what? The Jawas sell him to the Hutts, let's just say. Now the Hutts go and,
He's scrap
you know...
metal. He's scrap metal.
Well, how is R2 going to escape like Jawa?
Here, this is what I'm saying. Here goes what I'm saying. The Jawas are going to sell him eventually. Let's just say worst case scenario, he gets sold to the Hutts.
Right.
Okay. Now the Hutts are going to, sell him for scrap metal or whatever. But they're still going to break him down. They're going to find this,
Let's not even hold on. Let's not even play these fucking hypotheticals because if you
okay.
You can do that all day.
C-3PO was
Well, yeah,
built
you
by
obviously
hand
can.
by Anakin Skywalker.
This ain't
How
even
is that
prequel
not
talk
the
no more.
most significant?
Yeah,
droid
no, we
in
totally
the
jumped off
entire film?
prequels.
Maybe Anakin wouldn't have been as educated on his like knowledge of engineering and stuff if he didn't
Well, I
build
mean,
C-3PO.
Just
He was still
you know,
educated.
Point blank, droid built by the Chosen One. How is that not the most significant part of droid lore?
Thank you.
That was good.
I mean, it's just okay. He's done. All right, New Hope. Let's just say just New Hope.
I don't understand why we're comparing Jar Jar and C-3PO though. Like, they're
Because
both very
Jar Jar
important.
actually
Yeah.
has
Separate
as
things.
much. Here goes my thing. I support Jar Jar over the haters of the prequels. Honestly,
Well,
like any Star Wars film.
C-3PO wasn't race coded, so I'll take him.
So here goes my thing. Jar Jar is a comedic relief that's always existed in Star Wars. No matter who you are, whoever tries to disagree, you know, there's always been comedic relief in Star Wars.
Of course, yeah.
So you're going to try to, like, not you guys specifically, but there's people that were out there that will argue that, like, yeah, Jar Jar sucks. Well, what is it that sucks about him? Because I don't see anything bad about him. You get what I'm
I
saying?
think literally the only thing that I actually dislike about Jar Jar, and I'm not a Jar Jar hater by any, like, I literally adore him, but I think maybe the only thing that I don't like about him is in the Phantom Menace, it feels like they pushed him way too hard, and it got to a point where maybe halfway through his like through the movie, hearing him make like the same mistakes over and over, like it just kind of
The
lost its charm.
clumsy, yeah.
He